Well, thanks for joining us for AM Talk. And we know that the Electricity Company of Ghana, they have had their management issuing a video, first apologizing for all the troubles that us, the consumers, have been going through. We'll play that to you very soon. But also we'll get to the ordinary Ghanaian and ask whether really that tends to rhyme well in their minds. But tomorrow, we'll be looking at a piece from Joint News investigative journalist Manasseh Azure-Awone, who produced, we know, the scandals on Jida Sada, and he returns from Burkina Faso with a chronicle, something more scandalous than we've ever heard in a long while. And please make sure that you stay tuned right here on Joy News, and we'll give you a lot more. But let's now watch what the ECG have been saying to the ordinary consumer.
This video has been produced with the consent and concurrence of the management of the Electricity Company of Ghana. It is for the benefit of all customers of the ECG and the general public. Here is Engineer Robert Jamina, the Managing Director.
Previous years, ECG used to import meters from suppliers for installation in its network. But within the last few years, there are 5 meter manufacturing companies in Ghana, and ECG support these companies by giving them contracts. So currently, we procure meters from the 5 meter manufacturing companies located in Ghana. ECG has worked with these companies to agree on the specification and the standards for these meters. I must say that these meters go through rigorous standardization and calibration process according to approved national and international procedures. ECG has a modern metering laboratory comparable to any in the world, and that is where we test our meters to ensure that they meet all the standards before installation. In 2013, ECG, with the support of the World Bank under the Ghana Energy Development and Access Project, JIDA, initiated the process of acquisition of a new software, the commercial management system for management of its customer and business. But this was done to replace the system which was determined as being obsolete and not capable of handling a lot of the applications that were being introduced in ECG. The CMS is used for billing the postpaid customers, but for the prepayment customers, all the softwares are in the prepayment meter, and therefore vending is done in the prepayment meter. As indicated already, when you roll out any system, there are bound to be some initial challenges. ECG is not different. When we roll out fully the CMS, these initial challenges also surfaced. There were some anomalies.
When it comes to money issues, we don't joke about it. So you can't tell me I paid this and I'm paying more than that, and now you come and tell me it's a mistake. No, we don't deal with such things. You know, Ghana is very hard to earn money. So things involving money, you have to be very careful not to make any mistake.
Apologizing for overbilling of the people of this country is not enough. I think he has to wake up. They should work hard and make sure that they serve the good people of this country better. Electricity has become a bigger issue in this country, and for somebody to see somewhere and say that he has just apologized, I think it's not enough.
Tell him he's not doing a good job. I mean, me per se, I'm not really happy because I don't know the number of appliances I have in the house. I mean, buying 100 cedis every week is too much.
Well, as a Ghanaian, I don't really believe him because it's the same thing that goes on all the time. But as a citizen of this country, I think we have to give him that respect and see if he could do something about it. But I don't really believe they can do something about it. And if it's a software issue, it shouldn't be anything that will take that long. It should be corrected. If it's a hardware issue, fine. But if it's a software issue, it should be something spontaneous. So I don't really believe this thing is going to stop now.
Well, so the ordinary consumer is making complaints, but it means a lot, and especially with now the apology coming, especially in video, coming from the management of the ECG. Also, do they empathize, etc. We have our guests in the studio to do discussions. Adam Mutawakilu is a member of Parliament for Damang. Thanks for joining me this morning, sir. Okay. And also we have Kwapena Mankwesiama. He's a member of Parliament for Fantiakono. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
It's grateful to have both of you in the studio. But first, let's get a reaction from you, because I know that you've been, because of your position as the Deputy Chairperson of the Mines and Energy Committee in Parliament, you speak on a lot of the issues. What Mr. Robert Dramina was saying in that very video, is that the case? Basically, yeah.
Thank you very much. Good morning to our cherished viewers, and more especially the good people of Damongo constituency. I think what he said is in line with when they met us. However, we haven't finished with our interaction with them. We still have 2 more. Last Friday, we met the Public Utility Workers Union, and it's very, very, so far, so good in respect of the interaction. What he said is exactly what they told us. Actually, they came with a chart of if you consume 1 unit per the tariff structure, how much you are supposed to pay, up to 10,000 units. So, and the respective percentages in respect of increment was attached. And we realized that the first aspect of it was migration of consumers from the old software to the new one. They had some challenges, but which with every new software will have 1 or 2 things to do. So we asked them to see how to resolve those things. One of them was that. We also realized that when you take the chart, first of all, we have the tariff structure, which are in bounds. We have called the tariff bounds. If you consume it in the lifeline between 0 and 50, you are in the lifeline, and it has its rate. Once you cross it to 51 to 300, you are completely on a different tariff bound. And if you cross 301 to 600, you are completely on a different tariff bound. Then if you cross from 600 units above, you are completely on a different. So if I'm a lifeline consumer and I consume 0 to 50, what happened in another month, I consume 72 units. You are taken out of the lifeline to the next bound. And that will bring a significant change in the tariff. But if you go there and you trace, you consume 50, you should be able to trace the percentage increase per their chart. Then we also realize that the software is for postpaid, not prepaid. And then we asked, how about prepaid? They were briefed that some of the prepaid have memory problems. So when they detect it, they quickly replace it completely. Then the other issue came as a result of their staff. We realized that some of their staff are so much involved in this illegality and other things. And they admitted that yes, a few of their staff have been involved, and ECG has taken necessary measures. Some of them have been prosecuted, and some have been laid off. And we also realize that when you take the tariff structure, you have the credits, the units. then you have the rates, then you have the special levy of 5%, then we have the street lighting levy of 5%. That gives you the energy one. Then we have what we call the service charge. The service charge is in respect of capacity charges. And capacity charges are the costs involved in ECG getting lights to consumers.
So what this thing you're telling us that is not necessarily the structure of the taxes that resulted in the difficulties?
One is the bound, when you move from one bound to the other.
But that is not plausible, because some of the consumers were receiving very steep or very high.
And that is why I came out with a statement, assuming you consume the same units, let's say 150, we don't expect you to pay anything more than 92%.
So the astronomical increments in the bills.
That there are irregularities, and they have admitted that in the course of migration from the old software to the new software, they had some challenges. Okay. About 7,500 customers were affected, and they are working on it. So they admitted to most of the...
For the ordinary consumer, this very tacit explanation may have come too late, or perhaps even if the ECG as management were envisaging some of these things, shouldn't they really have come out and explained to the public that we're deploying this, we could be having some of these adverse problems with the metering or the billing, and so you'll be having some adverse changes in the structure, and so when you have them as a consumer, you don't have to be alarmed. The communication perhaps should have been right if they knew that there will be difficulties.
Thank you very much, and I would like to say good morning to viewers, especially people from Fantiakwa, yes, living in and without.
You didn't greet Nanado Dankwe Kufado, most of your...
Okay, Nana is not here, but okay. I think maybe he's watching this morning, and a good greetings to him and to the president also.
All right.
Okay, yeah, the electricity brouhaha. It's been difficult for all Ghanaians, and you know, could somebody think that this could happen to Ghanaians at this time of our economic history? Because everybody in Ghana now is complaining that it's not been easy economically. And if it happens like this and we attribute faults to either machines or personnel, money, or whatever, you see, we should do that. Then it means that we are not caring properly for the citizens of Ghana. The monstrously inflated taxes and levies on the electricity alone tells you that this government is not caring for Ghanaians. The hoi polloi is made to suffer. My colleague was talking about a bounce, and up to 50 you are cleared from taxes and levies, and you can enjoy your electricity. How many people in this nation now are using up to 50 units?
It means we're developing.
Yes.
So it means that you're buying a lot more appliances.
Yes, it is obvious.
So you have to pay.
Listen to me. So, given the up to 50,
if you're buying a LED,
given the up to 50, does not cover up to maybe 2 or 3%. No. If 50%, if you use one fan or two fans in your place, one one fridge or freezer, and you have about 3 light points, you consume more than 50 units a month. It's automatic. So how many people is this 50% made to cover? Those who are living in compound houses, they don't have single meters to their rooms, and therefore 6 or 7 of them are using 1 meter because of difficulty to obtain a meter from the electricity corporation. They all use 1 meter, and for that matter, they consume more than 50 units per month. And this is what people have drummed into the air or into the heads of ECG or administrators of energy and all tax collectors, that this is what is happening. So why couldn't they have made sure that people living in compound houses are given separate meters for themselves before even this policy should have been taken off. It is very difficult when people come to tell us that we have given you this, but you are not enjoying it, knowing very well that you cannot enjoy it. That is the asymmetry in information. It is not the best. They know better than what we do know. It is not the best. So what we are saying is, fine, we have that, but the recently monstrously inflated prices and levies is something that we will put it on the doorsteps of the government, because if care were taken, it wouldn't have happened that way. So what are we saying now? My colleague is saying that he has made a pronouncement to all Ghanaians not to pay over 92%. In the first place, though he's here, I would like to say that it shouldn't have come from his mouth. It should have come from the Electricity Corporation, because they don't take instructions from him. And this is not going to work. And if we aren't careful... I think
he was speaking to a media based on...
I understand, but if you aren't careful, it's going to bring chaos.
Okay. But even I wanted
to... Let me just clarify certain things. We are in
not a politician.
No. There was a statement on the floor of Parliament, and the Speaker referred it to the Committee of Mines and Energy.
Fine.
As a member who has oversight responsibility and to ensure that consumers are protected, I have a say. And our interaction, that's why I indicated, they brought it, a chart to us. Based on that chart, we realized that if you consume 150 units and you continue to consume the 150 units, that means you are within a certain bound. We don't expect you to pay anything more than 92. I'm just using one.
So what month?
Based on our interaction, and that is why I said we are yet to submit a report. But so I have a say as the vice chairman and play oversight responsibility.
But I want to ask you.
But that is what I'm saying. Let me just add this. What the MD had come out to say, if it had come earlier, updating Ghanaians, I think this agitation...
I think then they took time, they had to investigate and find out where the problems were coming from. Maybe
but you come out and calm Ghanaians.
Yeah, but I think it's a consumer-related service, so they should have.
Yeah, he has already indicated that out of the 7,000 complaints, about 3,000 has been resolved, and by the end of this month. So you give the people some hope that you have whatever complaints they have.
But Mr. Adams, let me ask you this. Even 92%, supposing somebody is consuming 150 and the person has to pay 92%, that's almost the double of it. That's a lot of money.
That is what I'm saying. The 150 is not 92. I say it ranges from 68 to 92. That's why I gave the upper limit. The 92 actually came, you get to that point when you are consuming about 10,000 units.
Is that why we have many of the businesses like hotels and the high consuming service providers or production units making a lot of complaints?
Yeah, it depends on...
If that is the case, why is it that we don't make special considerations for them? Because they have high overheads. Already we have difficulties with unemployment, etc. And now they have to add all these bills. And because of the category, even go as high as 92%.
You realize that is what I indicated, is the bound. As you cross the bound from one to the other, that is not tariff.
How many?
That is not taxes. That is not taxes. And that is not government taking some taxes. We must be very clear with that. 2, household compound houses, the ECG indicated clearly they are being catered for.
How? They have meter.
They have their
prepaid or paid.
No, those who are postpaid. They have their staff who go to identify the various households in that compound house.
How many compound houses can they go? Even they don't have the staff.
But they read the meters. No, you see, when
I think that service is outsourced, so they have to outsource.
It is not.
So once you cross the bound, you fall within a certain rate. For example, if you are consuming between 50 and this.
No, that is well explained. We understand it.
The bound is 0.33 Ghana pesos. When you cross to 51 to 300 is 0.967. So you see that drastic change. That is the rate. It is not tax. But my colleague,
that is well explained.
No. So as you cross, you would get to a certain level where you'll be taxed. But you must know that in coming out with the end user tariff, take into consideration the energy mix. It is the energy mix.
What has that got to do with the consumer?
No, that determines how much you pay. Because if we have hydro covering 70%, I don't think we'll be paying this. But over the period, because of the problem we have with the shift, hydro energy is now contributing about 33%.
Ghana is not the only country that is using.
Have you compared?
No, the rate of consumption.
We did comparison to
the rate of consumption.
To
I was listening to a certain
rate of what?
Consumption of.
No, you see,
the rate of consumption.
Consumption.
Yes, the power that we produce and how much of it that we consume in the country.
Yeah. No. I'm saying that electricity here is one of the highest in the world.
You mean in terms of the rates that we pay?
That is the point.
Or the tariffs?
The tariffs. A country like Lebanon is also using a power bat as we are using. And they are paying far less than we are paying. They also buy the crude, and we also buy the crude from the same market. No. Why is it that we are paying higher than they are paying? Abidjan is the same. They have the mix there.
You still keep mentioning Abidjan. You mean
yes. What is the coverage? And they are also paying less than we are paying.
The consumption.
You see what type of consumption are you talking about?
We're talking about the number. The number. How do you
That is what I'm saying. That the energy mix is very, very important. You realize that sometimes
we have thermal, we have gas.
You just say it like that.
You have to consider a lot.
No.
You see.
We don't rule a country to suppress people in the country. We have to look.
You believe what is happening is suppression?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. It is wickedness. Yes, if I want to put it blunt.
Why do you use some of these adjectives to some of the things? You say it's monstrous. I've heard you say almost
monstrously inflated prices. Yes.
Wickedness.
Yes. You see, do you know people are paying about 300, 400, 500%?
That is an abnormality.
It's very abnormal, and it's
that is why this statement is very, very
let's have a finality to it. We have to move on to other subjects.
That is why this statement is very important.
Our last comment on
this.
If
it's per the meters, or if it's per computers, or if it's per who are imputing into the computer, still it is not the best.
Okay.
And it is wickedness.
Point has been.
And immediately, it started long ago. And immediately, government must make sure that they sit down and find a lasting solution to this. Then the lantoplastic solutions. It's far greater than that.
Monstrous.
It is far greater than that.
He has just
Sorry
answered,
for tagging you monstrous.
He has answered why I have to indicate that at most 92%.
I have a question for you.
If it is 200, 300, that is an abnormality.
That's an abnormality. For prepaid?
Yes. And if you go...
Or postpaid?
Both.
Okay. Where is it coming from?
If you go, they will have a chart.
The explanation that you are giving me.
They will look at the consumption, and you should be able to follow the chart.
About the chart, etc. Does it just is about the consumption pattern?
The consumption
for
pattern
both prepaid and postpaid,
residential and non-residential.
Okay.
And the prepaid, as I indicated, is programmed. They are non-residential. We have residential, non-residential, and industries. We have to be very able to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
So you realize that my friend said taxes, but he's not able to mention specific. What is the rate? Is it 100% taxes or something?
You have 5% here, another 5%, the sector levy, that one, and we have 5%, and we have street lights, that is 7%, 7 cities, and we have VAT, that is 17.5%. And
the VAT doesn't catch up with consumers, residential consumers.
Oh, but don't talk about, we are talking about consumers of electricity. No. Factories and other users, commercial users, what they do in to the benefit of the nation.
Very, very important.
And if people are sacked from their jobs, right, and we are considering pricing of electricity, we should include them.
What I'm saying
we should include them.
We have to be, I'm not, when you make a general statement, it is very good you specify it out. And that is what I'm doing. For before somebody goes out, a residential consumer says that they are charging me VAT. I have to be very clear.
Okay, now let's talk
politics. And it is very, very important.
It's okay, enough with it. Is this the politics?